Today we're going to tell you how to open a casino for dummies. Don't. But if you want the supposed thrill of doing it, the supposed glamour and glitz, Vegas Showdown doesn't have it. I'll tell you, when I first got Vegas Showdown, I first played it, I opened the box, I said, what is this, a paper mat? Garbage. And then I played the game and I said,
who cares?
This is not a good game at all. Then I played it again, I said, well, yeah. Then I played it again, and now I love this game. I don't know what it is about it. The idea of building your own thing, the auction is something I like, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me show you how to play it. In Vegas Showdown, players have their own hotel/casino that they're going to have in front of them, and then they have the main player board that's in front here. And players are going to have different pieces, and they're going to have money, which is represented by these chips. And your goal is to get the most points in this game, in which players will have a point tracker that goes around the outside of this board here. At the beginning of each turn, players are going to receive income. And how do you determine how your income is? And that's over here on this chart. You have the amount of money that your hotel can possibly bring in and the amount of people that your hotel can hold. This is where they start. You will always get the lower amount of those. So right now I'll get $5 or 5,000, 5 million, whatever you want. As this money goes up, let's say the money goes all the way up to 19, still the most I can get is 8. I always pick the lower one. So you're trying to make both of them go up simultaneously. After that, players are going to use this little obelisk icon to take actions. Now, they have 3 actions they can take. One is renovate, which we'll talk about later. Another is publicity. You can just take a point each turn. But usually what you're going to do is you are going to bid. There are 3 buildings that are always available. They are slots, the lounge, and a restaurant. Each of these buildings provides something. A lounge provides 2 points. A restaurant provides 2 people. And slots provides $1. You can always buy these and put them in your hotel. But there's also other buildings that you can get. For example, fancy slots. You can only get that if you have slots in your building, but it gives you $1 and 2 points. Fancy lounge gives you $1 and 4 points. The nightclub down here gives you 8 points. But each of these has prerequisites. To remember what these prerequisites are, you can look at this board here, which shows you which buildings are needed to build other ones. So on my turn, let's say I want to build the lounge in my first turn. So I go up here to the lounge and I bid $9. Now the green player, he wants a restaurant, so he bids 15 on the restaurant. The annoying blue player decides to outbid me and bid 12 on the lounge. The red player decides that he wants to bid 15 on the lounge and outbids both of us. On my turn, I say, you know what, I'm going to go for slots, and I bid on the slots up there at 5. And this keeps going until everyone has bid on something, or if eventually someone just goes to publicity. Once there's no more competition, you can bid on the same thing that you were outbid on, that's fine. Then everyone pays their money and takes the building that they've won and put it into their building. Now, when you're putting tiles in these buildings, there's some restrictions. You'll see there's yellow and blue. Well, that's easy enough. If you have a yellow tile, it must go in the yellow section or in the white section. A blue tile goes in the blue section or the white section. A green tile goes anywhere you want. But each tile must connect to the doors. You can see that there's little doors on each of the tiles, and you need to make sure that they work together. So I can put the slots in that location, but I can't put it like this because I need to have a doorway that goes to the exit. You don't have to connect this door to this door, to the door on the other side, but near the end of the game, that won't be a bad idea. Now, the slots and the restaurant and the lounge, they're all there. But you want to get these better buildings, of course, or these better rooms for your casino. But you'll notice these little red chips. That little red chip comes out. When Fancy Slots first comes out, I look and there's an 18 on it. And that's the price that it starts with. So I have to bid 18 or higher. So when you're bidding, you can see that you can bid 18, 21, 25, 29, 33, 37, 42, 47, 52. Okay? However, at the beginning of each turn, if no one has bid on this Fancy Slots, then we move the chip down. The chip doesn't move like this, it moves like this. And so the building is going to get progressively cheaper until somebody's going to put out the money to get in it. And you'll notice as these buildings are bought, there's going to be empty spaces. In fact, there's an empty space here. At the beginning of each turn, after people get their money, you will turn over a card from the top of the deck, and you will look here, and that shows a big building. So a big room, I'll add another big room, a buffet. Woohoo! and then I'll draw another card, and this shows a small one. So I'll draw one from this stack, and ooh, a fancy restaurant. And these cards also do other things, like this moves the minimum bid marker for each of the premier tiles, that's these, to the next higher circular space. So that would move all those up. This one here, each player scores 1 each time he or she outbids another player this turn. And so these cards will also add effects to the game. The game is going to progress until we draw a card that says, for example, we draw this one and we need to put out a medium building, and there are no more medium buildings that can go out. At that point, the game ends. Players are then going to calculate their points, which is nicely explained with this card. If you fill a whole casino section, you get 5 points in the hotel section. If you connect the one door to the other, you get 3 points. Whoever has the most highest revenue on their board gets points, and the highest population. You can trade in $10 for 1 point. And another funny thing that can get you points, you'll notice that some of these buildings here have red on them in the corners. When you put these buildings together over the course of the game, they might form a red diamond. If you can pull off a red diamond somehow, you'll get extra points, or even 3/4 of a red diamond will give you points. You'll also score a lot of points during the game, especially for rooms like the nightclub here, which is worth 8 points. And whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. And we're back! I'm rich! Okay. This game does have really bad component quality comparatively.
Yes, it does.
It should have had the poker chip. The pseudo poker chips are okay, but the paper mats, there's no excuse for that. And the tiles, even the tiles aren't that great of quality. Wizards of the Coast kind of dropped this one, or Avalon Hill, whoever, both of them. But there's so many things I like about it.
Yeah.
The auctioning is great. Instead of sitting there going, should I bid 1 or 2 or 3? You just put your marker on the next one, or 2 ahead if you're feeling risky.
Right.
And there's a lot of tension because you're constantly going for the same things. Everybody wants slot machines at the beginning. Although I'm pretty sure you're kind of a lounge guy usually. You go for the lounge. Sam goes for the straight up points. I try to get as many people and money as much as possible to bring in that total amount. But what do you like about it? Or dislike?
I don't know. I liked it. I very much like this game. This is another one of those games that, as I've said before in other podcasts, that this is one of those games that both of us own. And so that tells you something, because why own a game if a guy that I see every day owns the game and I can borrow it from him whenever I want to? There's no reason for it. But this is one of those games that I do want to own and that I did pick up. So that tells you, first of all, that we both enjoy the game immensely. Why do we enjoy the game? I like, personally, the puzzle aspect of trying to fit all of your different rooms together, trying to fill up your entire casino, which is actually kind of difficult.
No, yeah, it is difficult.
Because you have to really kind of plan ahead to put this room here so that I can put this room over here, and all those doors have to match up. Well, not all of them, but the doors do have to match up. So that's one of the things that I liked about it to begin with. The auction mechanic, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not a big auction mechanic game kind of guy, though, so that was neither hit nor miss for me. The thing that I liked about it was the puzzle aspect and trying to gain as many points as possible. I'm not really too heavy on the business aspect of trying to get all the people.
That's what I like. I like the business part.
I was more of the building your casino aspect.
But at the same time, it is kind of cool to look down and see your little thing built in the restaurant, and you're like, look at my place. Hey, you only got a place to eat there? Come on now. What is that garbage? And it plays in maybe an hour and a half, I think. A really good time frame, and it works well with 3, but I like it best with 5.
Yeah.
So this one gets 2 stacks of poker chips for me up.
2 stacks of poker chips for me up. I'm going to give it 2 huge bouncers up. Hey,
all right.
Got bouncers.
All right. Well, mine don't. Everybody's welcome. Everybody.
So you start cheating the house.
Oh, well.
Use out on a curve, bro.
All right. Well, definitely. Vegas Showdown, a game that is still, actually, I think it's probably pretty high price on eBay nowadays, I would guess. But if you can find a copy of this, try to snag one, or at least give it a play. It's something you'll enjoy.
Very much so.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.